If you've ever tried to buy a home, you have likely gone through the time-consuming and stressful process. It involves multiple in-person visits with agents and brokers. But the pandemic has driven the digital future to now, and how we shop for real estate with tech innovation is all part of that change. Joining us now with more is writer and media consultant Mohit Rajans. Hi.
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Nice to see you. Walk us through the ways that you've seen the industry pivot.
It's been amazing to chronicle digital acceleration during the pandemic because many industries that have had a legacy of doing business for such a long time have had to find different ways to do business, and real estate is definitely one of them. Anne-Marie, we're seeing the process change completely now from going and stalking open houses to actually going online for hours a day for people to know everything from buying, selling, to managing the buying process. And what's interesting is it's not like it's happening in our backyards anymore. We don't have that heavy section of the newspaper to indicate where the opportunities are. And so it's wonderful from legacy real estate agents right to newcomers into the market to see how they're exploring these new tools that are available.
And there are a lot of new tools. So which are the ones that you see are being used most often?
Well, it's interesting also how people are starting to relocate in different areas without necessarily going through that lived experience. Back in the day, it used to be a referral process, or you'd go and visit somebody in an area and you think to yourself, I'd really like to move here. Now with everything from 3D modeling of areas to development that's happening with drone surveys to video home tours. Let's talk about video home tours. Sometimes I'm guilty of going on them when I'm not even looking for a house. And it's so fascinating to do that because what you end up doing also is you understand a little bit what the potential is and not necessarily what you're investing in immediately. And I think that's what's ending up happening in this situation is when you can guide somebody through the process and they feel secure about it, it doesn't really matter if it's online or if it's in person.
When it comes to choosing a real estate agent, what role does social media play?
Well, it's a remarkable change of events that I've noticed. In fact, I'm starting to see more real estate agents use things like podcasting and TikTok and, of course, newsletters to market. And it's quite phenomenal to see that growth happen because it levels the playing field for the types of people that can be in the industry. But it also feels like you're an informed buyer in this situation. And I think, Anne-Marie, that's what we have to sort of consider in this situation is many people feel like you just want the information. You want to know this is the biggest purchase possibly of your life. You're making an investment with friends or family in certain situations. So you want as much information as possible. And with social media, what I'm noticing is that people are giving that information away for free in hopes to get your business, obviously.
All right, let's talk about information. How can we be sure that what we are getting is vetted and accurate?
Well, Anne-Marie, I think there we have to consider the difference between agency and authority. Much of the content that we see online and digital tools are really from people who are just marketing certain areas. They're not necessarily people who are authority or people who can actually physically sell. They're referral process. So when you look at agencies that are marketing real estate, to understand that they're probably referring you to a real estate agent that's actually doing the work. The other part that there's a big gap in right now is the law and where the lawyer fees come in. And it's very important that you have all your I's and T's or I's dotted and T's crossed or whatever happens in non-digital 1.0 world. I think lawyers are very important for people to consider in this process because I don't think we're quite there yet to feel completely secure about taking it all online.
What are some of the other innovations that you think is going to be part of the hunt for a new home?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much people look into the history of certain properties and the potential. You know, there's a lot of new towns that are springing up in areas that didn't have a demand prior to the pandemic. So when we look at the future and raising a family and people wanting to relocate, I think the history of certain areas is going to be a big indication about what the potential for growth is. And so when you start to look at everything from the potential for modeling in the future for some of these areas to the actual virtual open houses, we're going to see growth. And the question is, how do we use these tools to feel better about the purchases that we're making?
Overall, though, better for consumers and buyers?
I think it's utility at the end of the day. I think there's people that are stuck in condominiums during the pandemic that can't wait to have more space. And whether you want to clean up dog, in the backyard, or you want to go to a smaller space, it's all going to depend on the utility and how comfortable you feel in the online process. But there's still a long way to go. And I think it's very important for people to understand while the tools are there, you really got to vet the process before you feel comfortable being involved in it.
Mohit, always good to learn from you. Thanks so much.
My pleasure, Anne-Marie. Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.